When you lower the saw blade, say to the height of a piece of veneered particle board, a whole new range of cuts becomes possible, like edge rebating. You can make the rebate any size you like, depending on how high you've set the blade and your rip fence setting. It's so easy to put a strong, professional edge on anything you make with particle board, such as a table or bench top. And what a great way to neatly cover the crumbly edge of the particle board. If you'd rather use natural timber for a table or bench top, you could tongue and groove it. First, you make 2 identical rebates, working from the opposite faces. You always test your settings on small offcuts of the wood you'll be using. Because the rebates are identical, the remaining tongue will, of course, be perfectly central. To make the matching groove, move the fence out by the thickness of your saw blade and again make 2 cuts on a test scrap. Because the cuts are again an equal distance from each face, the groove will be exactly centered. The 2 pieces will then fit together perfectly. The mortise and tenon. Now there's another strong, traditional joint used in furniture making. The problem is that when cut by hand, tenons can take up to an hour each to make, with a Triton Workcentre about 45 seconds. You use the fence as a stop, so all 4 faces of the tenon will be exactly the same length. The mitre gauge keeps the work square to the blade, and the tip of the blade does all the rest. How easy is that? After you've machined all 4 faces, the result must be a perfectly centred and square tenon, and every one of your tenons will be identical. You'll see how to make the matching mortise in the router section, coming up soon. You have to agree, it's a great table saw. But there are some jobs that a table saw just can't do, or can't do very well. Let's have a look at how, in no time at all, the Workcentre converts to a crosscut saw. And it's a crosscut saw which will outperform most miter saws and radial arm saws. Every table saw component has a storage location when not in use. And because the power saw is clamped to a flip-over mounting chassis, it's really quick to convert. Because you'll be using the saw right way up, slide the table in and quickly lock it in position. The crosscut fence has its storage location as well, so it's always at the ready. And there you have it. With a Triton Workcentre, you've always got the right tool for the job. When do you use a crosscut saw? Well, when you're cutting long or heavy pieces to length, it's much better to move the tool, not the wood. Wooden sub-fences are provided, and the saw cut between them is great for lining up your pencil marks. It's comfortable, easy and safe, and you get phenomenal accuracy. Try doing that with a power saw handheld. And what a crosscut capacity! Around 500 mil or 20 inches wide. So it's perfect for bookcases, shelves, kitchen cupboards or wall units. And you save a lot of time. These 4 pieces will be exactly the same length because they were lined up and cut in one pass. Your work will turn out better and faster, and you'll enjoy it more. The cross-cut mode is great if you're building a frame. Bevel cut the pieces 2 or 4 at a time. After you've cut one end, turn the pieces around, make sure they're still lined up, and cut the other end. The pieces will always come out exactly the same length. Provided your saw was correctly set at 45 degrees, your frame will be dead square. By simply feeding the wood in from the other side and raising the blade a bit, you can cut a spline groove. You'd then make yourself a spline or key, perhaps in a contrasting colour, and you've got another tight, professional joint. You can even bend a piece of wood. It's called kerfing. You make a number of evenly spaced cuts, but not cutting all the way through. It takes a bit of patience and care, but it's not difficult. And the results can be spectacular. You can use it for decoration, or you can reinforce it and use it structurally. The instruction manual shows you how to do it. You'll be able to build things that right now you probably wouldn't even dream of tackling. You can make it with Triton.